They're wonderful.
I knew the band was good, but I didn't realize how selective a process. And the chief is from the Juilliard School of Music.
Do y'all understand how significant that is? I mean, this is the best of the best of the best.
The best of the best of the best of the best in America to get into Juilliard. So, and then to choose to serve our country as a band member for the United States Air Force Band is just absolutely wonderful.
No kidding. And I want to throw, he mentioned some dates and places today. First Academy Faith Hall in Orlando. If you can get there. Tomorrow, Downtown Disney, Waterside Stage, and a bunch more. But get on the website, usafband.com, and you'll find out all that information. We want to cover an issue that's been in the news here lately. And Glenn, I know you've got something that basically you're going to read it. But to preface it, it's timely because this just did happen, or at least just got reported, about our Marines doing something they shouldn't have done. Nobody's going to say
just
it was...
a few days ago, at least it was in the news. I don't, the actual event may have been earlier than that, but that's irrelevant. It's the event itself and what people think of. Well, let me tell you, the Secretary of Defense needs to go stick his head in the sand as far as I'm concerned with the comments he made about it.
He said something like it was deplorable.
Yeah, deplorable. Well, let me, I don't normally read things, but this so expresses Garen, Kim, and I, for sure's opinion of the incident that we want to share this with you.
And it's by a man we can all respect.
Yeah. It's Representative Alan West, who's a Republican representative from Florida. He's a former Army lieutenant colonel, and I read the following from him. This was his statement about the incident. Well, we didn't tell you what the incident. The incident was that 3 Marines were seen urinating on some Taliban fighters that they had killed in a firefight. And of course, like we said, the Secretary of Defense called it deplorable, and the newspapers were all over it.
The media is just rushing to it to try and pass judgment, saying what an awful thing. These troops are just horrible.
Okay, so here's a counter argument. I have sat back and assessed the incident with the video of our Marines urinating on Taliban corpses. I do not recall any self-righteous indignation when our Delta snipers, Shugart and Gordon, had their bodies dragged through Mogadishu. Nor do I recall media outrage and condemnation of our Blackwater security contractors being killed, their bodies burned, and hung from a bridge in Fallujah. All of these over-emotional pundits and armchair quarterbacks need to chill. Does anyone remember the 2 soldiers from the 101st Airborne Division who were beheaded and gutted in Iraq? The Marines were wrong. Give them a maximum punishment under field grade level Article 15, non-judicial punishment. Place a general officer level letter of reprimand in their personnel file and have them in full dress uniform stand before their battalion, each personally apologize to God, country, and the Corps. Videotaped and conclude by singing the full United States Marine Corps hymn without a teleprompter. As for everyone else, unless you have been shot at by the Taliban, shut your mouth. War is hell.
Right on.
Wow. I mean, and Congressman West, I have met him personally last November when I was up there at a conference in D.C. with Rolling Thunder. Very busy man, but he says what he means and he means what he says.
And
he doesn't ever go back and say, oh, I was taken out of context.
Yep, nope. I second that speech. You can third it.
I'll third it. The bottom line here, folks, is we are asking our young men and women, the bravest of the brave, the best of the best, to go out there and fight these wars to keep us safe back here. And they are, let's be honest, they're young people, okay? Now, even though they've got discipline and integrity and all these things that we admire, they're still kids.
Yeah, they're still young people, and you've got so much adrenaline running through you after a firefight. Like the Lieutenant Colonel says, if you haven't been there, shut up.
That's
you don't understand.
That's the absolute truth. So we got to cut them some slack, and I think it will be handled in an appropriate fashion, and they'll be punished because we don't want the rest of the world seeing us as some callous occupier or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's not our way. That's not the American way, and he recommends what I feel also is the appropriate kind of punishment for these people. But you don't kill them.
Throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, heck,
Yeah, there you go.
these are some of our bravest and best people. We've got so many things going on here on the Space Coast. And folks, I want to encourage you, if you're listening in another part of the country, to get involved in your local veterans community. There's always going to be opportunities for you to get engaged and volunteer and help out the troops. But AVET Project, I want to mention real quick, we've got a PR&R, Project Recuperation and Reintegration Retreats, coming up in February, 10th through the 12th for the female warriors, 17th through the 19th for the males. We need support. I'm going to put it straight out there. You know the good work that we do here on American Warrior Radio. Well, we're doing even more, and we're an all-volunteer organization. Everybody that gets engaged with AVET Project does so because of their love of country, their love of our warriors, and the sacrifices their families make. We need your support. Go to avetproject.org, click on the donate button, send a couple bucks. It'll help, because these retreats are really important.
Yeah, and they make such a difference in our warriors' lives, both our brother and sister warriors. They have two different retreats coming up, one for the male warriors and one for the female warriors. And as I said last week, there's no better not-for-profit organization geared at helping veterans than AVET Project to donate your money for in 2012.
And there's a scavenger hunt coming up on February 5th. I believe everything's coming together for this. It's going to be available to anybody who rides a motorcycle or a car. Information details are available February 5th. That's a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. You have to take a couple hours out of your day to join us, but it'll culminate at hopefully the Veterans Memorial Center. We'll have more on that later. But there's a bunch of other things that are happening in the local area, and I know we got a list of some of these things. We talked about the Air Force Band.
Well, January 14 and 15, which is a Saturday and a Sunday, the 35th annual Scottish Highland Games. I need to go to that. I'm from a Scottish background.
McGuffey.
Yeah, and I'm cheap. That's over in Winter Park off of State Road 434. Of course, the United States Air Force Band, we've talked about them. And Building Homes for Heroes has a booth display at the Orlando Spring Home and Garden Show and Orlando Boat Show, and that's a big event there. If you're interested in home building or boats, that's the place to be. And that's Friday the 13th through Sunday the 15th at the Orange County Convention Center, which is so huge they have different halls, and this is at the South Hall.
And that's going to benefit homes for our troops, or not, building homes for heroes, which is
building homes for severely wounded warriors, and it's a great program.
And I wanted to mention here locally, if you want to get engaged in something fun, the BIN, Bikers in Need. It's a charity where folks that are down on their luck, whether they're a veteran or not, whether they're a motorcycle rider or not, can get involved at Bikers in Need. The BIN is having a charity event tomorrow in Sebastian, and we encourage everybody, just go online, avetproject.org, on the Facebook page. You'll get all the particulars. And following that, we've got the Rolling Thunder Bowling going on tomorrow afternoon. What's the venue for that? It's in Palm.
2:30.
It's at 2:30 at the
Palm Bay
Shores Palm Shores Bowling Alley. So check that out online, avetproject.org. Even if you're not a Facebook member, scroll to the bottom of the left corner of the page, click on it. You'll be able to view all this information. Very quickly, I know you got some other events there, Glenn. I was proud to be invited over to the Navy League of Central Florida, which made a generous donation to AVET Project's PR&R, Project Recuperation and Reintegration Retreats. So a big, happy, healthy shout out to all the folks of our Navy League in Central Florida. And I encourage you to check that out to get involved in their big project, Lone Sailor Memorial. You can find this information very easily by going to avetproject.org. Click on the Facebook. Anything else interesting there before I get to another one?
Well, yeah, we've got the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Traveling Wall, which is the same one that we have in Brevard County it's similar to the one we have in Brevard County every year, and it will arrive in Orlando on Monday, January 16th, and stay there until Sunday, January 22nd. There'll be police and motorcycle escort of the wall at 9 a.m. on Monday from the rest area on I-4 and State Road 434. It's going to be set up in the corner of Lake Eola. That's the big lake in downtown Orlando that lights up at night and has a beautiful show that they just fixed after many years of being down from a lightning strike. And in conjunction with that, on Saturday, January 21st, there'll be a memorial ceremony at the site from 11 to 12. So I encourage all you Vietnam, well, I encourage all veterans.
Every American.
Veteran to go participate and enjoy and review the Vietnam Moving Wall. It's a very moving tribute to all those who lost their lives in that conflict. Protecting our freedom, regardless of what the newspapers may have said at the time.
It's a sight to behold. And VITAS, another big supporter of AVET Project, has some free seminars January 18th from 2 to 4 at the Community Credit Union in Palm Bay. It's Palm Bay Road in Melbourne. Just look up VITAS, V-I-T-A-S, and look for that because that's a wonderful program.
Yeah, folks, and we work, let me throw in that we work closely with VITAS, and they have a person assigned who specifically helps dig out any veterans benefits that people are entitled to, and then they bring the claims to us. We do our usual great job with them to ensure the maximum opportunity to get the benefits.
And VITAS is awesome. Folks, we got a new American Warrior Radio logo. Check it out. As always, Glenn,
don't forget, thank a vet.